You're not ready for this? Lawyers, crypto experts, and the CEO of Ripple all say that the SEC's trial will end soon. This is the best sign ever for going up. The price of the XRP Ripple coin should also change. Of course, the fact that experts think it will reach a crazy $10,000 0 cents is even more interesting. This video is something you should not miss. Let's skip all the other stuff and get right to the point. I don't know, Benny. After almost 4 years of question, Ripple's long court case with the securities and the New York Stock Exchange seems to be ending. Crypto experts are already sounding the alarm. Levi wrote that the SEC will soon drop the case. Steph told us more about it. She told them that the SEC was about to drop the XRP appeal for good. Many people who own XRP should be happy right now, but they're thinking, and some are angry. People are angry about more than just the SEC. A new group of people are criticizing Ripple, not the government. They want to know if Ripple's leaders really do care about the people who own XRP and their ideas. Because he has given money to political causes, Chris Larsson, one of the founders of Ripple, is at the center of this story. Larsson was the biggest fundraiser from the crypto space, giving over $11 million 0 cents to Kole Harpy's 2024 presidential campaign. A lot of people in the XRP community were worried about that move, and they still are. It's no secret that crypto users voted for Donald Trump a lot during the election. He said in public that he backed digital assets and that the US would become a global hub for crypto. He also took crypto donations and pretended to support new financial ideas. On the other hand, Harris was seen as part of the government that let Gary Gensler go. Take over the SEC and be tough on cryptocurrencies like XRP. Larsson's big gift made people who owned XRP feel like they had been lied to. It seemed like the people in charge of Ripple were more interested in politics in Washington than in the community that kept XRP alive during the regulatory fire. This disconnect is making some people think twice about their long-term help with Ripple. Recently, someone who uses cryptocurrency said it straight out. If XRP goes back up to $3.50, I'll sell everything and buy Bitcoin when it gets to $125,000 0 cents. Some people think that Ripple only wanted to get ahead politically when they backed Harris during the campaign and then moved their support to Trump when things started to go his way. Some people think it's too direct, while others think it's smart. In either case, it makes people not trust you. A lawyer who used to work for the SEC stepped in to clear the air during all the political talk. People who used to work for the SEC and are now called Mark Fagel said that the case against Ripple wasn't made by the Biden administration. Yes, it was made while Trump was president and Jay Clayton was head of the SEC. Fagel said that the case was pulled together by Trump's SEC chair. The case didn't get to Gendler until after he took over. Fagel also said that Clayton signed off on the case on his last day of work, which was normal. Moving the case along saved time during the leadership change that wasn't needed. The case had been looked into for a long time. Still, that answer didn't make things better. A lot of people who own XRP believe that regulations became more unfriendly when Gendler was in charge. Most people also believe that the crackdown would have been longer or harder if Harris had been in charge. For this reason, Chris Larsson's decision to give Harris a lot of money is seen as both political and personal. Last week, Brad Garlinghouse, CEO of Ripple, said that the company is ready to end the case. In a strange way, that outcome might not have been possible if Harris had won, since the SEC is likely to. When people back off and XRP is ready for new chances, it runs into a different kind of trouble. If Ripple wins its court case, it might lose the trust of the people who have stuck with it through years of bad market conditions and trouble with the government. The gap between Ripple and the XRP community has never been bigger than it is now. It seems to get bigger every time there is major news. As soon as the SEC steps back, analysts already think that XRP will make a huge move. Some people believe it could reach its highest point much more quickly than people think. When they tell you their price plans, you might not believe it. Wait until you hear what they have next. That's why people are getting ready for it already. Thoughts that are ready for the blast are still not sure. Find out how people in the XRP community feel by asking Demonox on X. Maxi told the truth even more. He told them, XRP is about to go off in a big way, maybe even the biggest. Everyone will be shocked when XRP goes up again. Lots of people won't be ready for how crazy things get. It's very important to keep the time. As Trump has said, he backs new digital technologies. The market sees this as a political green light for cryptocurrencies. In a tweet, Mishi said it best. This isn't just another season of crypto. Trump is in favor of digital progress and the growth of XRP. This could be a real turning point in the history of money. It looks like the puzzle is starting to fit together. Lots of rules, political help, and more trust from funders. But some experts are giving these dreams real numbers instead of just how they feel. A crypto researcher named Pompeius said that XRP could go from $3.50 to $10,000, 0 cents. This was one of the most shocking things he said. It's just math. The price has gone up by 285,000, 600%. Pompeius says this isn't about hype, but about simple facts that are being hid on purpose. During this time, big companies are building the groundwork for XRP to be used to tokenize real world assets and move money around the world. This is making small investors nervous. It doesn't seem possible to have $10,000, 0 cents worth of XRP at first glance. The market value would skyrocket to 600 trillion yen, which is a huge amount and many times the size of the world economy right now. That's not the point, though. Pompous isn't really saying that the price of XRP will always be that high. He wants to show how big the changes are in the financial system and how the use of XRP for cross-border payments and tokenized real-world assets could change how we figure out how much something is worth. He says something very scary and strong at the end. You are not welcome at the table. You need to sit out. If you've had XRP for a long time, you may remember being made fun of during the court storm. Now that Ripple has won, connections are getting stronger. The holders are starting to see the fruits of their labor. It's no longer just a promise. Also, think about where you stand. They were right when they said 4 years ago was the best time to buy XRP. The next best time is now. There might never be another time like this again. The resolution of laws, the progress in politics, and changes in the world's funds all happening at the same time. Something very important is going on below the surface. Most people won't be ready for the next step either. Even if XRP never gets to 100,000, right? What if I told you that what we've seen so far is just the tip of the iceberg? You can't miss what's really going on at XRP Ripple. I promise that what comes next will blow your mind. There are global deals and moves made behind closed doors that no one is talking about. The story of Ripple and its digital currency, XRP, is more interesting when we see how different big banks handle the technology. In public, the US sued Ripple, but behind closed doors, the UK did something very different. This could mean that Ripple will play a bigger role in the future of world banks. This difference was just recently brought to light by Satoshi Scope in his shocking thread about the XRP Bank of England plot. Do you think Ripple was always okay with the crown? He says the Bank of England was already.